Scorpio 2020 horoscope. Welcome, dear friends. This is an astrology prediction for people who have their sun or rising sign in Scorpio. If that's the case, then in this video, you will learn how the most important key events during 2020 will affect you personally. And trust me, we have many of those events during the year. Jupiter and Saturn changing signs, chasing each other, making conjunctions with Pluto, then with each other. The nodes are shifting signs. Very important for you that Mars is going to be retrograde. Venus also will have a retrograde phase. So we have a lot of things to discuss, and this video will let you know how those events affect your sign personally. Also, the 2020 astrology calendar is available. So if you want to get the information about daily visible, invisible planets, aspects, ingressions, lunations, and much more, you can find the link below the video and get yourself a copy of the 2020 calendar. Now let's begin with our prediction. We're starting with Jupiter, the great benefactor, the planet we always like to see, the planet which we expect to be generous with us. And Jupiter is going to be in Capricorn. So honestly, that's not one of the most generous positions of Jupiter, but that's what we have. And we can still expect to grow and to expand. But with Jupiter in Capricorn, we need to be focused on the practical side of things. Practical results, visible, realistic at the same time. And for you guys, Jupiter triggers third house. So this is the area where you may change something, where you can grow, where you can expand. So new contacts, new communication, or new connections with other people. That's a great aspect for writers, for people who would like to publish something, or people who would like to learn no matter what. It could be about your work, it could be about something you love doing. Jupiter in third house really supports you to gain more practical skills. That's the key here, practical skills. So new ideas, new way of thinking, new philosophy, new people coming in your life and changing your way of thinking as well. And overall, this is also great for traveling, for, you know, meeting with different type of people, seeing different type of places, and enriching your life overall. The interesting part is that Jupiter is not alone. And Saturn is also going to be in your third house, part of the year, not all of it. So until March and between July and December, Saturn is in your third house together with Jupiter. And that's an aspect which requires from you to be more serious, to be more organized, more reliable when it comes to communication with people, when it comes to your ideas. And this is a great position for business negotiations. But keep in mind that Saturn in third house doesn't support shallow, superficial contacts and communication. For example, if you have had many, I cannot even call them friends, it's like people that you just chat, that you just communicate frequently, and there is no real meaning, and this is just stealing your time, then Saturn in third house may actually cut off those people out of your life. The valuable, the meaningful friendships will stay, of course, and this is kind of a time for you to realize who are the really important friends in your life, who are the reliable and the responsible people in your life. The others, they just won't stick around anymore. Also, if you are learning, Saturn in third house can help you to be more structured, more disciplined. It may not be the simplest thing to do. You know that Saturn requires the extra work, requires the efforts, but at the same time, it may really help you to be more logical, to be more practical, to gain those valuable, really valuable practical skills. And the good news is that actually Saturn and Jupiter in third house are having a sextile with Scorpio. So you are supported by those two planets in a soft and harmonious way overall. But Saturn will change its position between March and June, and after the middle of December. Saturn is going to Aquarius in your fourth house. And it means that you need to be more focused or more responsible when it comes to family or obligations related to your family, your home, your properties, maybe your investments in properties if you have any. And that would require some work. It could be kids or partners or parents who may need you to take care, to invest some of your time, to do something for them. So a more serious approach in regards to family and home. For some people, this could be time when they can ask themselves the question, is it time to settle down? Or where do I really want to live? Or how can I have more stability in my personal life, in my own family? So Saturn brings those questions. And after that, we also have Saturn in conjunction with Pluto, but that's the beginning of the year, the 12th of January. Only one time Saturn and Pluto are joining together. So it's about transformation of your way of thinking, of your logic. So you may really see things from a brand new view, from a brand new perspective, new ideas, new concepts, new type of friends or other people may actually trigger this transformation. So it's time also to change your own rules and your own principles that you are following. So what needs to be cut out of your life, what needs to be left, or what needs to be completely reconstructed? Those are some of the questions. And third house is triggered by another aspect, the conjunction between Jupiter and Pluto. And it will happen 3 times in April, June, and November, again in your third house. How can you expand your mind? How can you have more ideas, more impact, even verbally? Third house is about your verbal expression, you know, in front of people, with people. So how can you be more powerful with your words? How can you affect other people? How can you inspire them to grow or to learn or to change something? So for learning, and especially something more occult oriented or something related to secret stuff like esoterics, or it could be about science as well, you know, even the more traditional science area, just diving deeper, exploring, expanding. This can be very, very interesting for you. And Jupiter and Saturn are also gonna be in conjunction. So look how many aspects we have, guys, between those important planets. Jupiter and Saturn are chasing each other in Capricorn in your third house. So through the whole year, you need to find the balance between the optimism and the realism. But the exact conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn is in your fourth house at the end of the year, on the 21st of December. So it could be time for growing, it could be time for settling down, or having some stable results when it comes to your family, your own home, your personal life. It could be purchasing a new home or deciding to build up your own home as well. So it could be quite impressive, quite, you know, like a new phase and a new cycle when it comes to your personal life. Then we have also the nodes, which will be in your third and ninth house until May. The North Node triggering ninth house, it's time for expanding your worldview, it's time for learning, for focusing also on long-term goals, on your own philosophy, your way of thinking. And this will change after the 5th of May because the North Node actually will ingress in your 8th house, the South in your 2nd house. North Node in 8th house requires also transformation, exploration of something, investigating something. So for science work, for learning occult stuff like astrology or any other thing which is interesting to you, this is a great time. Also investments, financial stuff, learning to take more risks. And don't forget that 8th house, it's kind of your own space, you know, the Scorpio area. So this North Node actually increases or awakens your own personal qualities, you know, the ability to transform oneself or to transform other people around you, or also to be changing things, you know. It could be through knowledge, it could be through practices. Great time to concentrate on your health, learning to balance the energy, the exchange of energy. Those are the main topics. And we also have eclipses, of course. When we talk about the nodes, there are 6 eclipses. The first one is on the 10th of January, lunar eclipse in your 9th house. So changes in your goals, transformation of goals, or even materialization of certain goals, and letting go of something that does not work for you. Then during the summer, there are 3 eclipses in a row from the 5th of June until the 5th of July. The first one, a lunar eclipse triggering your 2nd house. And it requires change in the material area, in your finances, in your personal belongings. What can you change? What can you let go? Then there is a solar eclipse on the 21st of June. It activates your 9th house. So time for focusing on the future, on your philosophy, on the long-term idea, on your vision about the future. Traveling and education are also significant at that period. And the last summer eclipse is on the 5th of July in your 3rd house. And again, the major topic is your way of thinking, the practical side of things, your communication with others. So what you need to let go, what you need to change as an idea or a relationship, not with close people. It's mostly it could be friends actually, but very often those are just people that are around you on a daily basis, but not one of the really important ones. And the last couple of eclipses are at the end of the year. On the 30th of November, lunar eclipse in 8th house. That's an important one. And it requires a very deep transformation. Diving deeper into something, exploring, letting go, releasing negative emotions, fears, limiting stuff, just, you know, separating with those things. Changes when it comes to financial stuff, the mutual resources, and so on. And the last eclipse of the year, on the 14th of December, in your 2nd house, there is a solar eclipse. New beginning or transformation in the material area when it comes to your own resources, your own money, and how can you be more independent financially, or what needs to be transformed in regards to personal resources. Next, we are moving to the retrograde phases of the planets. They are quite interesting. Venus and Mars are both being retrograde. We begin with Venus, and it starts from the 12th of May until the 24th of June. Venus will be retrograde in Gemini between the 22nd and the 5th degree. In your chart, in your horoscope, it triggers 8th house. So you need to be especially careful with financial stuff. I don't recommend you to invest money into something significant or even to take some important decisions when it comes to the mutual resources area. And overall, this area, the resources, the mutual stuff, it could create some kind of disharmony in your life. You may overreact or be over emotional when it comes to those things. And overall, emotionally, this could be kind of a, a very, very intense period. So letting go of the old emotions, or healing your heart, healing your emotions and feelings, that's what I would recommend you to do. Overall, we know that Venus retrograde is not positive for marriage, for starting a new relationship, or starting something new related to Venus. So beauty stuff, fashion stuff, art stuff, try not to take some new steps about something brand new in this area. Now, the next transit of Mars retrograde is more important for you guys, because Mars is the old ruler of Scorpio, and we should never ever forget it. Between the 9th of September and the 12th of November, Mars is going to be retrograde in your 6th house between the 28th and the 15th degree. So be careful when it comes to your work, your business, your health, communication with coworkers, and your daily life. How are things happening around you? There might be changes, there might be lack of harmony, or people confronting, people reacting strange, or overreacting, or even dramatizing, coworkers, clients. It could be difficult also to keep the schedule. So you may notice that it's not that smooth, that things are changing, that you cannot be in control as much as you would like to. But that's okay. Just don't push too much. Don't start new businesses. Don't start important work activities during this period. And when it comes to health, also be cautious. You need to be careful with things that potentially can hurt you, or also, to just recharge. Mars is our physical energy, and you may either feel lack of physical energy, or you may kind of burn out because you are trying too hard. So don't be in one of those extreme polarities. Try to keep balanced as much as possible, of course. On the positive side, you might restart old business projects, old ideas related to your work, old business partnerships, or clients from the past might come back into your life. Or you may just try to fix more things that didn't work very well, to reflect and to see what needs to be improved when it comes to the business area. The last retrograde cycle is related to Mercury, the planet which goes retrograde each year a couple of times. The first one during 2020 will be February and March. Mercury retro in 5th and 4th house. So be most careful with personal things, love, children, creativity, risk-taking, and home, family, personal stuff. The second Mercury retro phase is June and July in Cancer in your 9th house, and that's mostly related to your long-term goals and plans. Be careful with plans for trips and traveling and all kinds of, future ideas that you have. The last Mercury retro cycle, October, November, will trigger your 1st and 12th house. So we can say that this would be the most important one. And it's time to avoid new beginnings, to be careful of your own behavior, your own plans, your own thoughts, and you might be triggered more on an emotional and personal level. Now, guys, we are moving to the outer planets. And the first one is Uranus. Uranus will be in Taurus between the 3rd and the 11th degree in your 7th house, Scorpio. So it could be very important, especially if your sun or rising sign is between the 3rd and the 11th degree of Scorpio. It means that Uranus is gonna make an opposition with your sun or ascendant, and you can be provoked, you can be triggered by other people. Something unexpected, surprising in the area of relationships might happen. For people who are in an unhappy relationship, Uranus can bring you freedom, separations, breakups. That's one of the masterpieces of Uranus. But for people who are single, this may also be like unexpected, sudden relationship, which is started with a very original, untraditional type of person. Or you're just, even if you're in a relationship, it doesn't mean always like breaking up, but it means changing the rules of your relationship. Maybe you need more freedom. Maybe you need to reconnect, rebond with your partner, or focus on something which you both really value and appreciate in your life. But in one way or another, Uranus requires transformation, changes, making things for the first time, experimenting, being more open for the new stuff that are about to come. So again, please check if your sun or ascendant is between the 3rd and the 11th degree, because that would be an important transit for you. Probably the most important, actually. And then we have Neptune. Neptune is your friend, guys. Neptune is between the 16th and the 21st degree of Pisces in your 5th house. So it's supportive. It can make you more romantic, more sensitive. It can help you to be more inspired, especially when it comes to creativity and art, and be more interested and just, trying new things. In love also, this is such a romantic combination. Sometimes there might be tendency to idealize the other person or the relationship, so be careful with that. And again, the most important question is the exact degree of your cusp of 5th house or your sun sign. If Scorpio is your sun sign, then check if the exact degree of your sun is between the 6th and the 21st. It means that Neptune is trining your sun, and all that we just said can be strongly experienced through the whole year, basically. But overall, as we said, Neptune is your friend. Pluto, which we kind of talked about already, Pluto, which is very important because that's one of the rulers of your sign, and it's in 3rd house between the 22nd and the 25th degree, but Jupiter and Saturn are joining Pluto. So there is a transformation coming from new ideas, from friends, from other people. And it's a positive one. So it's a harmonious transformation. It's not painful. It's not supposed to be drastic or stressful, but it can still be kind of a wake-up call, like a transformation. And check if the cusp of your 3rd house is between the 22nd and the 25th degree, because it means that the year is gonna be very, very important for you guys. So that's the most important for 2020. As you see, we have a very strong focus on your 3rd house, which is about your ideas, communication, intellectual stuff, being present. But at the same time, 8th house is also triggered by the North Node, 9th house as well. So time to transform, to change things, new perspective, new philosophy, new opportunities. Jupiter and Saturn in 4th house at the end of the year. So family can be an important area at the end of the year. So try to do the best with those influences, guys. And if you want to have this presentation, it's available. I can send it to you. Just type your email in the comments and you will receive it after that. So thank you very much for your time, and please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. What are you most excited for during 2020? Is there something that you cannot wait to happen, or something else which you're wondering how will manifest? Let us know in the comments. If you want to get yourself a copy of the 2020 astrology calendar, it's available now. Check the link below the video. It was a real pleasure for me, guys. As usual, thank you again. Have an amazing 2020, and we'll catch up next time.